pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I just feel bad.
We have a roll call, please.
Village President Detloff,
Here.
Mr. Brower,
Here.
Mr. Marks,
Here.
Mr. Morgan,
Present.
Ms. Quinn,
Here.
Ms. Whirl,
Here.
Ms. Weedle.
Present.
Do we have a motion to approve village board minutes dated August 18th, 2025?
I'll make a motion to approve board minutes for 1825.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion to approve previous meeting minutes from August 18th. Motion is made by Ms. Whirl,
Yes.
seconded by Mr. Marks,
Yes.
Mr. Brower.
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Ms. Quinn
Yes.
and Ms. Weedle.
Excellent.
Okay,
Do we have any public comment this evening? I don't think anybody's signed up. Do we have a motion to approve bills for payment and payroll?
Yes, I move to approve bills for payment dated August 20, 2025, from the corporate general fund in the amount of $175. Dated August 28, 2025, from the corporate general fund, $34,154.57. Dated August 28, 2025, from the Fest Fund, $2,425. And because a different run was run, but on the same day, it's also dated August 28th from the Fest Fund in the amount of $2,925.54. Also dated August 28th from the TIP account, $20,500. I also move to approve payroll ending August 16th in the amount of $18,869. Usually it's not.
Well, it is the season. Yeah. You know. Sure.
I'll second that.
Yeah, it's even, that's correct.
okay, Gary.
Is there a second?
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
$15,000 for spray patching, what was that for?
Spray patching all over town.
The roads.
On the roads? We had a place up on Lynn and Greenwood where the surf people ran off the edge and then a garbage truck ran off the edge and it was painted with white paint to be repaired. Has that not been done or is that still forthcoming? Was that included in this
I didn't
price?
think it was done, but I don't know.
No, I mean, it's been filtered several times. The garbage truck has been doing it every week. Steve's been in contact with them before. Do you want me to see if it can be part of the spray patching?
It was spray painted with white. I thought it was gonna be fixed.
I think it was kind of like a don't do this again area, and they keep doing it again. They were trying to just avoid it, because there's other areas that needed spray patching more than the,
Reroute themselves. They don't go that turn anymore.
right, just the complaints from,
Do we need to put a big rock there?
yeah, something, it's, well, it's someone's like side yard. I mean, it's an area from like here to here. I mean, there were just other areas that needed attention more than the corner of Lynn and Greenwood, I think, but I can have them look at it again. And ask them what the white paint's for. No problem.
Any other questions? Okay, I think we're good.
All right, Gary, double check my numbers here, because I wrote them down. Okay, a motion to approve bills for payment, from 820, general fund, $175 even. From 828, this is just a general fund. $34,154.57. From 828 Fest account, $2,425 even. Also from the Fest account from 828, $29,25.54. Out of the TIP account, from 828, $20,500 even. Payroll. From 816 in the amount of 18,869 even. All correct?
Yep,
Okay.
the printout must have been filed under,
Oh, maybe, okay.
but don't worry, you got the numbers
All right,
right. That's what counts.
we have a motion made by Mr. Morgan
Yes,
and seconded by Mr. March.
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
Ms. Whirl,
Yes.
and Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
All set.
Mhm.
Department reports, clerk Scott Dillman.
Okay, what I'm gonna mention is an annual thing that we have been doing for many years for our new trustees. The Girl Scouts have their annual cookie sales. And they ask for board permission to, possibly go door to door, set up booths at different places, as an example, the bank or different things like that. The first phase will be, I am told, in October, and then again in January, February timeframe. All we do is just take a poll vote, to approve it. We don't need big formal action or anything like that. And like I say, this has been going on for many years. So I ask for a vote, please.
Say aye, yes.
Yeah, sure.
All in favor, please say aye.
Yeah.
Okay,
all good.
I'll vote yes.
all right.
Better buy some cookies too, Dylan.
I got all, I don't wait on my book. I can't eat them, but I buy them.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, Sheriff. Attorney's report, Mike Sanchi, I'm gonna refer that to Mr. Morgan. He'll have more details on, events that have been going on with the attorney. Engineers report, Neil Piggish, I met with him a week ago. We formalized contracts, met with R&R Construction to start on Hilbert Park. The first thing they did was take the slide and the swing set down. We stored that at the maintenance building. We might be able to use it somewhere in the village in the future. The cost of playground equipment is quite expensive, so we thought if we hung on to it, maybe somewhere in the future, we would have a use for it. Their time frame on the park right now is to have 3/4 of the work done before winter sets in. And the last of it finish up in spring. That'll be pretty much the asphalt work around the pickleball courts, any painting that has to be done, but all that, depending on weather, everything looks like we should be on track to have the majority of the work done before winter gets here. Ordinances and Insurance Committee Chairperson Susie Weedle.
Yes, I would like to make a motion to pass ordinance number O-8-25-1 and ordinance implementing a municipal grocery retailer's occupation tax and a municipal grocery service occupation tax in the village of Grant Park, Kankakee County, Illinois.
I'll second. Okay, we have a motion to approve second reading of ordinance O-8-25-1, implementing the municipal grocery tax. Motion made by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
seconded by Mr. Morgan,
Yes,
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. Marks,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
and Ms. Whirl.
Yes.
That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Just to clarify the grocery tax, we're just gonna continue it. We're not, by October 1st, we had to decide as a community whether we were not gonna continue it. And we decided, as other communities did, to continue with the grocery tax. So it's not a new tax, it's just a continuation of what we already have. Streets and Alley Committee Chairperson Morgan Worrell.
Yes, Mosier Meadow has, the dangerous sidewalk was removed, replaced with stone. It's actually really nice. A few more probably could be removed for safety, but, another day on that. Also, Mondays in September, the last day for brush pickup. That'll be followed by leaf pickup by our fancy new leaf picker upper. Also, I just had a couple questions too, besides that, Mosier and Maple, I know that lot was bought, but I don't remember who bought it, but it definitely needs attention.
I believe.
Cause we told the guys to quit mowing it.
That's Nate Hendricks.
Who owns that?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Cause I said something to them, and they said, oh, remember we were supposed to start mowing it, so I just wanted to bring that up, that needs to be done for sure. And then, I have a question about the park here, is the pickleball courts gonna stay, or will they just be at the park court?
No, for right now, for the information I have, we're gonna leave
them up
this
there?
one here, and then we'll have new ones, or two pickleball
Okay.
official, which I don't know what official means, but official
Very
pickleball courts.
serious, okay,
Yeah.
very serious. There's no one asked me if we were gonna keep those, I was like, oh.
Yeah, we're gonna keep them. It's, the new ones that are coming in are gonna be a lot nicer than what we
Okay.
have here, but we had purchased the net. The net will be taken up in the winter time, but it doesn't interfere with the kids that are playing basketball.
No,
So
no, I know, I just.
Yeah,
wasn't
we
sure if
thought
it was
it'd be,
gonna stay.
it would be a good idea for someone that maybe wasn't on that side of the town, that lived in a neighborhood that wanted to play, so.
Okay, perfect, I'll let her know, thank you.
You're
That's all I
welcome.
have.
Thank you, ma'am. Finance Committee Chairman Gary Morgan.
Yes, thank you. To pick up on what you said about Mike Sanchi, he's been helping with the grocery tax. And if we send him a copy of or we send him one that's signed, he'll take care of, getting it to the Department of Revenue. I've been working with, sorry. I've been working with Mike Sanchi and Carol Lipinski over the last couple of weeks to make sure that we had everything in order for the sale of the property at the east side of town. And he assisted us with making sure that anybody who goes on the property signs a waiver, because there are some dangerous things there, like poison ivy and things like that. So he was helping with that. And then we've worked with the contracts over and over to make sure that everything in the contract would be in the best interest of the village, while not doing anything unusual as far as what a buyer might want to look at. We've had like 7 showings, I believe. There were 3 offers on the property, and we had a full price offer, and that's what I'm advising that we accept tonight, because we asked that they pay $150,000, and that's exactly what this contract is for. So moving into that step, the contract that we have is presented by Jerry Lloyd's as a trust. And the motion is going to be, I'd like you to approve a resolution number R-9-25-1, a resolution approving a contract of sale for certain parcels of property owned by the Village of Grant Park, namely 12393 East State Route 1 and 17. If we have a second, we can discuss that.
I'll second.
Thanks. Okay, are there any questions about the contract? And I guess one of the comments I want to make is something that came up, is we now own a small parcel in front of their parcel between theirs and the street. So one of the things that's going to have to come up probably during closing or some kind of other thing is we're going to grant an easement for him to use a driveway across our property to get into his property. Not a big deal. I mean, basically the multi-use path is on most of our property. He'll cut across that, basically what the driveway is now. One other thing that normally happens, if you buy a property, the sellers give you some of the property tax that they kind of owe you, but since we've never paid property tax on that property, that part's been removed from the contract. So our intention is, if this is accepted tonight, that the closing would be probably mid-October. One of the other things that we were concerned about is the property being cleaned up and looking presentable within a reasonable amount of time. And because we know who this person is that's buying it, he personally has the equipment, the personnel, the know-how. He's going to go in there and clean up that place. And we don't feel we need a 3-year mandate, because the problem, as Mike Sanchi said, is if you put that in the contract, what happens if they don't meet it? Does that mean you take the property back? And there's all kinds of things, and they're liable to say, oh, I don't want that contract. So what we came up with between Mike and Kara and I is that we're going to expect him to clean it up, and I think he intends to clean it up. So that's not going to be part of the contract that we also talked about some time ago. So
Adjudication court.
Well, and that's right. I mean, that still applies. It still has to be cleaned up. We're gonna give him a reasonable amount of time to do that, of course. But yes, that still applies. Did anybody have any other questions that I might not have covered?
Is there any chance of us getting an overbid on this?
No. No.
Okay.
I mean,
And
we're better off taking it's full price. We basically had a cutoff this morning at 10 o'clock saying if you wanted to overbid the full price offer, you had till 10 o'clock this morning. Neither of the other people who made a proposal said they were interested in going that high.
so they were contacted about that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes,
you said that there was property in front of it. Is he gonna be responsible for cleaning that property?
No, we are. We cleaned. I mean, JD mows that now.
We mow it now.
And we do mow it now.
It's not
JD,
that far back then
No.
from.
basically where you see the mowed part that JD does, that's ours. Where it's not mowed is what we're selling. So no difference in that, really.
So there's no expected zoning change requests to be coming through?
He's not said anything about that. And again, we can't hold him to anything, whatever he wants to do with it afterwards. But I think he's kind of leaning towards seeing if he can, fix it.
Only thing that scares me is that, you know, we talked about getting something to happen on that property within 3 years. So,
He's gonna do it.
pardon me?
I'm sure he's gonna do that.
Okay. So no recourse if he doesn't.
But again, as Mike pointed out a couple of times with me, if you put that in the contract, you're gonna have your hands full with all kinds of problems. He recommended not putting it in the contract.
You know, if I can weigh in a little bit on this, I mean, we know this gentleman, he's a local person. If he said he is gonna clean the property, then I would expect it to be cleaned up. I don't think there would be an issue. It'd be different if we had somebody from, outside of town that we weren't familiar with. We would have to go to him and say, please, can we clean this up? It's important to the village. It's our calling card when you come into the community. We all know the Lloyd's family and Mr. Lloyd's, and if he said he's gonna clean it, then I'm satisfied with the idea that he was gonna clean the property up.
And again, one of the things is he uses trees, so he needs those trees basically, and I think he's gonna go get them.
Okay.
Any other questions? No? Okay, then remove the question.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to approve resolution R-9-25-1 to approve a contract for the sale of address 12393 Route 1 and 17. Motion is made by Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Weedle,
Yes.
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. Marks,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
and Ms. Work.
No.
The village president.
Oh, village president. Yep.
Yes.
Kellogg.
We needed 5 votes, yes, and we have those. Okay, moving on, you have a picture of the mural, proposed mural in front of you. I kind of like to describe what you're looking at. If we look at it left to right, first of all, there's an outline of C.C. Campbell, founded the village on November 13th, 1870, built a train station by the railroad, and because he was successful in that business, he had the original village laid out, basically the downtown area. Morgan and I live in C.C. Campbell's second addition to Grant Park, so he's a well-known figure in the history. He is over a 440 steam locomotive that was the most manufactured railroad engine from the 1850s to the 1880s. So they certainly traveled through Grant Park on the Chicago, Danville, and Vincennes Railroad line many times a day over those decades. And again, just want to point out the 4 in the front are small wheels, And they use the small wheels in the front because that gives more friction and it'll hold the train on the track as passenger trains. Passenger trains pulled by this locomotive could go 60 miles an hour. So that's pretty fast for 19th century. As they moved in, why, of course, they've upgraded and anyway. Okay, moving on above and to the right is Chief Yellowhead, for whom Yellowhead Township is named. He was a leader of the Potawatomi tribe whose village is near where Sherburneville is today. Next to him are houses. Actually, basically what that is, it's a farm, like a 1950s farm. You can see 1950s, mid-20th century tractor and some buildings. And then you see a church, and the church is being hit by the April 21st, 1912 tornado. I mean, Grant Park has had like 5, maybe 6 tornadoes. It's known as the tornado capital of Kankakee County.
Really?
So, and I think the 1912 tornado actually took out a bunch of houses on the north side of town. They are above lush fields of grain with the outline of the mascot of our school district, the home of the dragons. There's a dragon in the fields. To the right of that, we have 2 railroad personnel at a village sign by the railroad. One is a train conductor, and I think that's the guy on the right. And the other is a Grant Park station agent, and you can tell they have different kinds of hats. And the actual sign is going to camouflage the downspout, the red and white thing holding up the sign. That's what the downspout is. Next we have General, and then later on President Ulysses Grant, for whom the village is named. Yeah, Steve.
Question, Grant Park elevation 689, what's the significance of the elevation? Is that
That's just how we are.
How railroad signs are.
Sometimes they have that on
Okay.
them.
I
Yeah.
just want,
Actually, is that not a copy of an actual sign that's in the area?
Yeah, I think it
It's our
is.
historical sign on the curve right out here. If you look, you can see the 2 railroad manhole in the picture, the Grant Park sign that says elevation on it. As you go on the curve, that's where this came from, or where Mr. Niemeyer got his idea from.
Yeah, the Historical Society submitted a bunch of things, and that's what he kind of took into account and some of that. Anyway, back to Ulysses Grant. His first command after the war started in 1861 was training Illinois troops. He was quickly promoted to colonel in June of 1861, and then to general in August of 1861. The tent encampment underneath him represents the armies that he eventually commanded. And he was considered to be the most effective general of the Civil War. It was certainly due to his expertise in strategy and tactics that he won. Some say he was a butcher because of the losses sustained, but the Confederates always had more losses. They kind of like to gloss over and glorify Robert E. Lee, but he always had more casualties than Grant did. One of the battles, and I'm sorry I can't remember, the Union troops lost 131,000 casualties, the Confederates 191,000. So that's kind of how the battles went. So people call him a butcher, but the Confederates had more losses. Okay, anyway, the trick question. What was Ulysses Grant's middle name? And of course, the emphasis is on trick question. Usually what people say is Ulysses Simpson Grant, and that wasn't his middle name. His middle name was Ulysses, like some of the rest of us go by our middle names. He was born Hiram Ulysses Grant. And after he completed his public schooling, well, he also went to private schools, he wanted to go to West Point. And initially, those plans kind of fell through. So his mother, whose maiden name was Simpson, asked a friend of hers, who was a congressman, can you get Ulysses appointed to West Point? And he did. Ulysses showed up at West Point the first day, and they presented him with all his paperwork, and his name was Ulysses Simpson Grant on the paperwork. And he said, I'm not gonna ruin this. I'm not gonna point out that's not my name. So from that day forward, he was Ulysses Simpson Grant because of the screw up in the paperwork at West Point. Anyway, I got more grant stories. I'm moving on. The next picture is a Curtiss Model JN, which was always called a Jenny biplane, which was built by the thousands in World War I and after World War I. They were flown in the years after by private citizens, and they became essential to the barnstorming era that you hear about in the 1920s. Anyway, that helped to awaken the United States to civil aviation. And this one was flown by Harry Fromm. And his hat and goggles are on display at the Historical Society. Next, we have a Grant Park World War II fighter ace. And in order to be a fighter ace, you had to shoot down 5 enemy planes. Richard Alexander did that. And he himself was shot down over Germany on May 30, 1944. He wound up as a prisoner of war and didn't get liberated until May 1945. So he basically spent a whole year in a prisoner of war camp. He was a recipient of a Silver Star, a Distinguished Flying Cross, a Purple Heart, and the Air Medal with 12 oak leaf clusters, among other medals.
He also escaped from one of the prison camps.
Really?
They recaptured him. They didn't execute him. The second time he tried to escape as well was right when they were just liberating everybody, or he would have been executed for that one.
Wow. That's interesting.
Was he a resident here?
Yes, he was born here,
Nice.
grew up here, and I think left here to enter what was the Army Corps then. He stayed in the Army Corps for a few years after, but he was injured in an accident in 1947 and lost one of his arms. So then he left the service at that point.
I know a lot about it.
Yeah.
I read his book. He actually tried to enlist in the Army Air Force Corps here. They wouldn't accept him because he didn't have a college degree. So he went to Canada and the Royal Air Force accepted him. He flew for Canada overseas in England until they transferred him to the US Air Corps.
But definitely a great guy to have on this. Very interesting. I missed the Co-op Granary, which is kind of looming over. I mean, that's a major milestone here because it can be seen for quite a distance away. And then we end on the right with a giant ear of corn. This is still a major part of Grant Park, and really we are surrounded by corn and soybean fields. So there you have it. History of Grant Park all the way across.
Is that a?
I need a copy of that so I can remember what I did last night. Right?
I'll make copies.
Is that a soybean next to
It's
your left?
I didn't think there was a soybean.
Actually, I think that's the
No, I
real
think that's
bush
the
that's.
plant that's there.
Yeah, there's an actual bush there that we're gonna trim down a
Oh,
little bit. But it adds sort of a 3-dimensional thing, so
Yeah,
that's
it's
why.
really nice. Yeah, it
Okay,
looks cool. Right, we love the same.
No, love it.
Right, at first I thought there was a trash can in the.
so the motion is to approve this particular representation for the proposed mural on the west side of the village hall.
Was there,
I'll
I
second.
have a question.
Got a second, so go ahead, you can discuss it.
Can we put a date, established date in
When it's
there? When the village
painted.
was established?
Oh,
Does it show
No, it doesn't have a date on it. Well, I'm sure you'd be glad to add a date.
it? I think that would be nice.
Okay,
Other than that, I
good
don't.
point. Yeah, we'll mention it to him.
We asked Mr. Niemeyer when we met with him, when the mural was done, would he sign it? And he said, yeah, certainly. So when people come to visit this, then they would know, because he is somewhat of a famous artist and everybody can see his signature and
Tourist stop.
and tourist stops, and it comes into play with our beautification of the downtown area. So I think it's a good addition.
Blue Star of the Spring.
He'll start tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic.
Assuming you approve it tonight.
Yes, I think it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Does anything have to be done to the side of the building?
The side of the building has been power washed.
Okay, that-
It's only been power washed up like 8 feet, so after they do 8 feet, they may have to do some
some more caulking or,
There's been some caulking and some plastering, yes.
okay.
Scott Dillman donated some plaster and it's in the gaps in a couple of places.
Cool. And we did discuss with him about special paints, and he's very familiar with exterior painting and what it needs, and we even put a coating on there that keeps any kind of vandalism from happening, or kind of washes it off.
Spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like there should be a bee or a butterfly. Deb didn't ask for a butterfly in here?
No, what's wrong with her? Yeah.
Good stuff, though.
Right, or
You
like
can have
maybe
some-
one of our,
Even in
well,
top
I'm thinking
elevator.
like,
I mean, the other mural that she did is full of butterflies and bees.
I guess maybe that's why I'm expecting it to be on here or something like that.
Well,
Okay.
it's
Like
not-
maybe our park now, like
it-
maybe a gazebo, like.
Or
old-
the chimney's kind of not painted, so maybe they'll.
Oh,
well, if everybody's approved on this, it's gonna
oh, yeah,
start,
right. No,
so.
I love it.
Okay, so we
Need
have,
an official vote.
Very good job.
we need an official vote. We have a
Yep.
motion in a second, yeah.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the mural graphic as displayed and explained. Motion is made by Mr. Morgan
Yes,
and seconded by Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Mr. Brower,
Yes.
Mr. March,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
and Ms. Whirl.
Yes,
I hope he paints this too. Is he gonna paint that?
that's the chimney, and I don't know why it's not painted, but I think we'll do something with that
Okay.
too. I mean, that's probably just an oversight.
Okay.
And nothing else, I don't think.
Okay, okay, thank you, sir. Community Outreach Committee Chairman, Steve Brower.
Okay, well, Friday we start our Fall into Fun Festival with a community bike ride, and then movie in the park will be outside. We were talking about moving it inside, but the screen is too big for the inside, so we're keeping it on the outside. So bring your blankets and your heating pads with you, because it's gonna be a cool night. The whole weekend is gonna be kind of cool, so people won't be sweating out there at all. Everything is going according to schedule. We had one hiccup where the Dairy Queen Curl, if you ever heard of Dairy Queen Curl, is their mascot, won't be available to come to the park. So that's the biggest hiccup we've had so far. And also, we were gonna do a mailing to rural Grant Park. That fell through the cracks. It did not get done. So next year, we'll make sure we prepare that a lot earlier than we did this year. Best I can say on that. Other than that, we're doing good. Hope to see everybody there.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
This is a sign that still has anonymous horrifically spelled wrong still
Is it
in the
really?
park. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
it's bad.
Didn't know that. First time I heard about it. We'll
someone
take
for
care
sure
of it
sounded it
tomorrow.
out.
He knows all about it.
No, we sounded it out today at school.
Yeah,
And
that wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
I was-
What? Another thing to add to the list. We'll take care of it.
Yes, you just, if you're just.
What time on Friday, do you want people to?
4 o'clock,
Well,
we'll
And-
start gathering up.
isn't it?
That's what I was trying to think. That's not right.
You'll have to go back and look.
4 o'clock, we're gonna have a get
Don't worry,
together. We're
it's
gonna
right there on the
committee people
For
to do
everyone.
some last minute reorganization, set up some tables and things like that. And we will have pizza for the people that show up to it as well. Right after that will be the 6:30 start off for the community bike ride. And in that time, we'll have
Yes,
things set up
yeah,
to
right.
cotton candy machine and as well as a popcorn machine. We'll be running.
On Thursday, I will put notifications on the mailboxes for parking for the car show like we do each year. Parking will be closed for residents from 8 till 4 o'clock, and they've in the past been very good about the people that need to go to church. We make sure they get out. We never block a driveway. So I'm gonna put notifications on each of the mailboxes from the highway down to my house.
Thank you.
Anything else, Mr. Brower?
That's it.
Thank you. Building and Grounds Committee Chairperson Julie Quinn.
Thank you. I only have one thing, and that's a shout out to Steve for going over there and defrosting the fridge, because not only number one, I have no idea how to defrost a fridge. Other than I know it involves puddles and towels, and that's it. So, thank you for going over there and helping me out with that, because I don't know how to do it. So,
No problem. I've done it a few times. I'm surprised there was no terrain on it.
oh,
Really?
Normally there's a drain, you can defrost, so then pull the drain plug out and goes out, but. No, so, we had a little cup, just dipped it out. Worked out well,
I'm good at plan.
so it's happy. We got a lot of room for the ice on Friday,
Good.
right, Dennis?
Dennis, we're not done yet.
I defer to the chief.
All right. Now,
I've got the list.
it's time for you to talk, chief, because I'm finished.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Law Enforcement Committee Chairman Dennis Martz.
I defer to the chief, he's got a list.
Chief Fry, would you take it from here?
About 2 weeks ago, Jim Valla, one of our officers, was recognized by the fire department. He assisted a elderly female who was having a heart attack, and she survived a couple days after that. Her family was very appreciative of that. They got some time with her before she passed away, so the fire department honored him a couple weeks ago with a plaque or with a certificate. Burnout shirts are in. This is the new burnout shirt. Working tomorrow, they'll get all sized and ready to go. If anybody wants to buy them, the kid sizes are gonna be $15. Regular sizes, which is medium, large, and extra large, are $20. 2X and 3X are $25.
You'll have them available during the burnout,
Yep, well, we're gonna have a merchandise tent,
okay?
as we did last year, and people can buy them. In the meantime, if somebody wants one, wanna come in, after Kathy gets them all kind of organized, they'll be there. Somebody wants to stop in and buy them, they can do that, so.
You're not selling them Saturday?
Uh,
Bunch.
well, I'll have them, I don't really have anybody to sell them, but if people approach me, as I did in the past, I just run to get them and bring them back to them, so. I don't know, maybe I can do something with that, I'll see. The only other thing I have, I got a recent copy of the budget, and one thing I wanted to point out to everybody, when you look at the budget, it appears like in one of our police budget items, we're extremely over, which is, equipment purchase. We spent $18,000 and we're 163% through the budget. I just want to point out, that was our TASER grant. If you look under revenues, you'll see that $15,686 was returned. That was the grant. So in looking at that, I just was kind of like, okay, but it comes back in on one end, goes out on the other end, but it's always gonna look a little askew when you look at the budget itself. And that's about all I have. I can comment later after the president talks about that.
Okay. I have a couple things, update on the park, which I explained, I met with the engineer. We hope to be completed on the work, depending on weather, by, the beginning of winter. And the last little bit, be wrapped up in the spring. So hopefully, weather holds out and we can get the park going. I do have an update on Surf Internet, which I'm gonna read here to you, so I don't mess it up. This is from Corey Nelson, and he's the construction manager for Surf Internet. It says, Ben, sorry about the delays. We just received the IDOT permit for transport path into town, and construction on this started this week, and I received this August 27th. We now have a conservative estimated time of completion of 9/24/25. I will update you if anything changes. Just prior to receiving this, I went to Moments and asked if they had Surf Internet yet, because the connection is coming from the south and they got the same information that I did. So I will keep the board apprised on anything that changes. But hopefully, at the end of this month, it should be connected, hopefully. The second thing here I want to address, we received a couple letters here. And this one was addressed to me, village president. And I won't read the whole letter, but it was describing 2 village codes and addresses in the community of code violations. Now, I did not personally go and look at these. I think our chief of police will address this here in a second. The only thing after reading this, on the last page, and I'm gonna address this here, it says, "My name is withheld as I have heard of police retaliation for those who question or make trouble for the chief." Now, I've known our chief of police since he came into the village. I have never heard of any incident of retaliation by any of the police officers or if anybody said anything bad about the chief. So this, by putting this in a letter, it stirs hatred. It doesn't serve well in the community. It doesn't build a strong community. I respect the right of anybody to say what's on their mind. But when you're gonna make an accusation by saying the police retaliate against you, if it isn't true, then there's other ways to get your point across. And I'll say right now that I back the police and I back our chief of police, and I've never heard of any incident in town here. And if there was, a person had a issue, they could come to me and I would talk to the chief and we would get something taken care of, so. If you would like to.
Sure, I'll go through the list real brief. Basically, I went to every single location on that list. Several are underway and you have a copy of it, so we don't have to. A couple were cited, for paint thing, and, the other thing is, I think I have to ask the board how detailed do we want to be on this? In the letter, it talked about green mold on the north side of houses. That about is every house in town. It just happens. It's the way it is. I don't want to get petty with people in town. There was a lot of comments about roofs on buildings that were rusted, whether they're sheds or a Quonset hut or another building. I'm willing to do what you want me to do as a board, but I don't think we should go down getting petty with people over, there's some buildings, some people have houses, there's some paint discoloration, things like that. We have never really addressed that with people other than, hey, you need to take care of that. And I don't think that's a citation that we should be issuing to people. And times are tough for some people. I think we need to be particular when we cite people for violations. They have to be egregious, in my opinion. So I'll leave it at that. I need direction from you guys. What is your preference?
So I asked the village board now. We have made, I think, some big gains in cleaning up the community in certain areas. Things that have gotten neglected. And we don't know everybody's circumstance, so I cannot fault somebody because they didn't paint the railing on their house, or maybe their house needs a little bit of touch up. Everybody's circumstance is different, and I'm not gonna make them get cited or get a ticket because they need to paint something. We talked about green mold. I just went to Menards 2 weeks ago and bought the spray that works great. You spray it on with a garden hose, it all washes off. But it's one of those things that you're gonna get it on the north side of your house no matter what you do. Anybody that feels that they're being targeted can meet with me at any time privately and I will listen to them. Or they can meet with me and the chief of police or any board member. But I'm not gonna drive around the village and look for issues if they're not there. If somebody, we brought up earlier about cleaning up, and I think for the most part that has been taken care of. We have a lot of work still ahead of us, but we're gonna have a lot of work next year, in 5 years and 10 years from now. This is not gonna end. It's like owning a home. You never get done on fixing things. So yes, we have made some strides, but there is still a lot of work to do. So does anybody want to answer Chief's question on how stringent you want to be with the rules? Does the board want to weigh in on that?
I feel like your discretion, if it's really bad and it's an issue or causing a problem.
Right, or if it's like a permanent issue,
Right.
you know, for sure, I mean. I drive past one often, so I know. But, no, I sit on a board of an HOA in town, and we're not this particular, so I don't think that us as a village have any right to overstep anyone's situation.
I mean, not knowing every individual's circumstance, it would be hard to go to someone and say, you're gonna have to either paint your house or you're gonna get a fine. And it might be that they just can't, at this particular time, paint
Afford
their
it,
home.
right?
Right,
So,
right, or like, then it's gonna go like, oh, you need to use siding.
yeah, well,
Right.
and you have to draw the line somewhere. If people, which they have been, if you come to adjudication court, you see the strides we have made by asking people to, I guess, go with the rules or make the best you can of them, and they have. And we've made a little bit of difference. But this is gonna be a work in progress, and we're gonna have this each year, and it's never gonna be completely done. And it probably won't be satisfactory to a lot of people in the community, but we're gonna keep working on it. And that's all I can promise you, that we do have ordinances and we are gonna enforce them, but we're gonna enforce them on an individual basis. If we ask somebody, hey, if you can take care of your yard, and we'd appreciate it. And if you ignore us, then it'll probably go to adjudication court, and then we'll take it from there, so.
I think that's in essence, the purpose of the court is to get people, it's in essence, a compliance court. We want you to comply with the law. You've got some issues with your property, take care of it, but again, I just don't. We've never been petty, and I understand exactly what trustee Quinn is saying. You know, we don't wanna overstep and get to where if it's an egregious violation and, hey, this looks terrible, we have to fix this, okay, fine. And I think we've taken action on all of those when they're really a problem. But I think, you know, and I agree, we have had a lot of successes, and we don't get everything. I mean, and I appreciate people, hey, look at this, okay, we can give that another look. But I don't wanna have 100 people in adjudication court or just, hey, you need to paint your house.
Anybody else like to weigh in on
Sure.
this? Sir.
I understand the concern on the mold on one side of the house for people's homes. One thing that bothers me on this list is the rusted roof, which is, I think, at Quonset hut.
Yes, I believe it is, yep.
To me, my personal opinion, that looks terrible. And I think it should be maintained. But on a residential basis, if we.
To address that, we've worked real hard with that individual on that property, and we're making strides, and that will be something I can address down the road with him and say, hey, this is another thing we need to, gotta take care of that, but,
Anybody else on the board have a comment?
What building is it? Which one are you
it's
talking
next to
about?
the detail shop, the Wyatt property,
Oh, okay, so the big gray one.
yes.
With a red brick front.
Yes.
Red brick front and then the Quonset hut behind it.
Okay, I'm trying to figure out,
Rustic.
Huh?
well, no,
It's rustic.
I'm just trying to figure out which part of the building that we're on. I'm picturing a tiki hut.
Me too,
And I'm
yeah,
thinking,
hut.
Well, I mean, to be honest with that, we have, had Mr. Wyatt here at adjudication court, quite a few times. And he has made huge gains on cleaning up his property. I haven't seen a property, in over 35 years that I've been here as clean as it is now. So we are making progress, but as I said earlier, it'll be something that we will have to continue working at. And so far, everybody's been very cooperative, I think so. So anything else on that? The next thing I have, I don't, trustees, did you all receive this letter from Outlook from a resident here?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is what I'm not gonna mention the name, but I am gonna address
Is
this.
it in our packet?
It should be in the packet. If you
Give
don't
me the
have,
last thing.
if you don't have one, I have some extra copies right here. So, I'm addressing this so the individual knows that the board when we receive these inquiries, that this doesn't go in the trash, that we take their inquiry serious. And I'm gonna briefly talk about this, and you can read through it, then I'll ask if you have any questions. At the next school board meeting, I'm gonna be at that meeting, if the school board wants to address me. One of the comments on this paper was school buses are being scratched and possibility of windows being broken from trees overhanging in the street. I haven't heard anything from the school board concerning this up until this letter came out. So I believe the next meeting is the 22nd of September at 6 p.m. I'm not sure, I could be wrong, but I am going to be at the next meeting if I'm correct on that date. And if the school board wants to address me, then I will talk to them about this. Otherwise, I'm not going to be there as a speaker, but I'm going to be there to answer a question if it does come up. The person that wrote this, I know that these are concerns that they have. And I can't say that they're all justified, but I don't have an opinion one way or another. I don't want school buses going down the street and children being hurt, but I haven't heard an incident of branches hitting buses and breaking windows or buses being scratched. And if that's the case, when they tire and trip a street, if a rock comes up and chips the paint on the bus, are we responsible for the paint of the bus? Here in the past week, the maintenance department were out trimming branches in the street, which they do every week. And if somebody says, well, that doesn't happen, I would say you're wrong, because I actually see them out doing it. It might not be in front of your house. Besides the other things they do in the community, there's two guys that are out, and when they have time, they go out there and say, hey, we need to trim this. We always make sure that the streets are safe to travel on for emergency vehicles. Another thing they make sure too is sometimes the trees overhang the stop sign, and you don't see the stop sign, you get right up on it. Or in circumstances, you may go through the stop sign. So they always make sure that those are. We do have some trees though along the highway that eventually grow out where people have to get out the road a little bit too far to see around them. We talked to the homeowner, being that they're the homeowner's tree, they're responsible, not the village, of trimming them. A few of the people that I talked to one right across from the park. He put a come along on his tree and pulled it away from the sidewalk. He had another person on North Main Street that had bushes that Mr. Dillman told me about, and he said, I'll take care of it. And I said, well, if you don't, we will take care of it and we will charge you. He said, no problem. So everybody has been pretty cooperative. I'm not saying everything is perfect. We have a long way to go to be perfect, but we are working at it. So if you had a chance to read this letter, does anybody have any comments or anything they'd like to say about it?
There's no addresses, so I don't know.
Well, there is addresses right here.
Yeah, but
And there's, like,
in
names
this,
in here.
in this main paragraph
Oh.
down here, it's mainly just names.
Yeah, well,
And I'm not sure if they relate to the top list
I
of
mean,
addresses.
some of them by the name, and I'm not gonna for legal reasons,
Right, absolutely.
I'm not gonna bring these names up or who wrote this. But you can look at the name of maybe not the person's property, but a name of a business or so, and say, oh, I know where that.
Well, that, absolutely, but I'm assuming that a couple of these are not businesses.
So, does anybody, from what you read here on this, paper, does anybody have any comments? So what I will do is I will go to the next school board meeting. If the school board, since this, apparently has been presented to the school board already about, possible damage to buses. I will, if the school board has a question, I will be there. I'm not there as a speaker, but I will answer their questions. And I brought this up at the meeting as we brought up the other letter, so whoever contacts the village knows that we are listening to them and we bring it up to the village board. Anytime anybody wants to meet with me, chief of police or any board member privately, their name won't be discussed as we didn't discuss anybody's name this evening. And I will listen to your concerns because it's part of my job and we will address it at the board. Does anybody have any questions for me? I ask the board at this time, is there a motion to, or is there a need to go in executive session?
No.
Do we have a motion to, Dennis is already.
That number two.
Do we have a motion to close this meeting?
Yes.
I used to have your job for you.
That's very
So I
good.
moved things along.
Okay. All in favor? Thank you very much, everyone.
Right.